Everybody, let me sit back a little bit so I don't hear Robinson talking. What's going on, man? What's going on? I'm gonna sit back tonight. We're gonna take it back to the old school. Tim's Tidbits tonight, right? Sitting back. Let me get my camera together there, right? I'm gonna sit back tonight, and tonight we are gonna do a teachable moment. We're making tonight a teachable moment. I was on the phone with a friend of mine today, just talking about, market type stuff, different things. And I told him, I said, you know what, bro? Tap in tonight and I'm going to do a teachable moment, right? We're going to do a teachable moment. And what tonight's teachable moment is going to be centered around, first of all, shout out my daughter, Alexandria Cartwright. I'm rocking her wealth walks today, right? I worked out in the wealth walks today, rocking her wealth walks, representing for the home team. So since we taking it back and we doing the old school Tim's Tidbits, the way we did for the old school. I know y'all ain't seen this in a minute. Y'all ain't seen this in a while. But the link in the chat, the link in the chat, the link in the chat. If anybody want to pull up and ask a question, the link is in the chat. 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 Let me go to the chat and pin it to the top of the chat, right? We may be on longer than 30 minutes today, depending on how much I get to run in my mouth. But let me pin this link to the top of the chat. And once I pin a link to the top of the chat, then y'all know I'll be doing stuff on the fly, right? I'll be doing stuff on the fly. And since I'm doing this on the fly, I pin to the top of the chat. Baby. Oh, I forgot you ain't got the custom emojis. Cause you're not when you cause you the admin, so it don't show it on yours. Cause I was gonna say it don't show you the custom emojis because you put the spider on there, and that ain't the black spider. That's the standard spider that's on there. Okay. Let's get to it, man. Let's go on and get wait a minute. Before we get to it, if this is first time tuning in to Tim's Tidbits, allow me to say welcome. If it's not the first time tuning in to Tim's Tidbit, I still want to say welcome. But I also want to give you a nice hearty, well, thank you for always pulling up to Tim's Tidbit, right? Like, here, learn, and share. Always here, usually first. KC, Angela, Margot. What is my wife doing? I'm doing something, baby. Margot, I'm doing something. Stop messing with him. Margot, FC, Father of Legends, Derek, Cool It Now, SJ, Andre. I don't know that name. Andre. Get off my screen, Andre. They're just jokes. But these are the folks that I be seeing over and over and over and over. Shout them out, right? If you haven't subscribed like these people that I just called out, please consider subscribing. Hola, que pasa, Valdez? Please consider subscribing. We trying to get to 2,500 subscribers. Hit the like button too. Yeah. Let's get to it, man. Tonight, we're going to make tonight a teachable moment. We're doing it the old school Tim's Tidbit way. You know what I'm saying? The link is pinned to the top of the chat if anybody want to pull up. And lately, I've been doing this thing with my hand, and I don't know why. But the link is pinned to the top of the chat if anybody want to pull up and ask a question. Tonight, we are going to be breaking down, right? Because like I was saying, for anybody who just tuned in, let me give you a quick backstory. I was talking to one of my friends. His name Joshua. Matter of fact, he's an R&B artist. He was on one time before. I had put up a link for his Tim, you disturbed me, Tim. Get off of here. Hey, I saw I was moving in slow motion. Was I moving in slow motion to y'all? Look, I was moving in slow motion. Anyway, I had shared his link one time for his music in there. Y'all go check my boy music out. But I was talking to him, and we were talking about courses, learning different strategies and all of that. And I told him, I said, Joshua, right? The problem with any course I've ever taken or ever seen, right, is they don't tell you the why behind the setup, right? The only thing they give you is a setup. And a lot of them call it strategies, but it's not a strategy. It's just a setup, right? The setup is a part of your overall strategy. You know what I'm saying? I broke down strategies and all that right there, but they only give you these setups and they don't give you the why behind why they expect the setup to work, right? So you're going out there and you're looking through the price section and you're looking for your setup or pattern or whatever you want to call it. You looking for it. And then when you see it, you like, aha, I see it. Matter of fact, let me go on full screen to do my monologuing. You, aha, I see my setup. Let me jump in. And then you get upside your head and you like, man, what happened? And then you say, aha, I see my setup. Let me jump in. Then you get upside your head and then you give up. And you like, man, this don't work, man. And the reason why you getting all upside your head is because they never told you the why behind the setup. Why are you expecting that to be correct at this time when you press that button to buy? They didn't tell you that it's particular things you need to look for before you press that button and trust that setup, right? You need to know, right, within a reasonable margin of error, like this setup may fail this time. This setup will definitely work this time. This setup, I'm not sure, but I'm going to trust it. I'm going to give it a smaller risk. You should be able to look at the price and determine to a high degree of accuracy when this setup is going to work, right? And the only thing that I have found to give you that kind of accuracy, no matter what strategy you use, the only thing that I found to give you that kind of accuracy is the concepts that ICT teach when it comes to reading price action. When you understand the concepts that he teach and you learn how to read the price action based off his algorithmic trading theories, and you trade it in, the most important thing is time, right? You trade it in the time windows where the algorithms are going to be active. If you trade in those time windows, the accuracy of your setup is exponential. It goes through the roof. So done had a lot of aha moments on this channel after watching ICT. The way you break down and explain the setups, PD array, buy side, sell side, this channel has elevated my trade. That's what's up, Stacks. Clap it up for Stacks. And the last part he said right there is the most important part. Discipline. Discipline. You have to be disciplined to do what the... What's up, FC? Pull up. Discipline. What's happening?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Which stands for Felicia Cargo. But I just had to pull up because, I just wanted to give you your flowers, kind of like the gentleman did earlier today. And like you said, to piggyback, these concepts work. And I just wanted you to see my face because I really wanted you to know that I appreciate all that you do, you and your family. I appreciate your wife allowing you to help us, to spend that time with us. Man, also, I just wanted to say I've been back testing kind of what I put in the chat earlier today, doing how I entered on the low of the early morning session. I took the fib from that low, and I always wait, take it to the high and then wait for a retracement at the open. And it fell almost exactly to the 618, probably the 70, and then took that all the way up. Well, I only take 10 points, kind of like you, and then I got out. A day like today, I was wishing I held a little bit longer. I had no idea that it was going to run.
Do you know what that's called, what you're doing? Do you know what that's called?
No.
That's the OTE. That's ICT's optimum trade entry.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then you're doing the OTE on the New York range. Like you're doing it on the you're getting the retracement off of the London low, from the London low to the New York high, and you getting that OTE entry off of that because you're running the field from the London low to the New York high, and you catching that OTE entry on the retracement because the OTE range is from 62 to, it's got 62, 70, and 79. Right, those are the three ranges, and the 79 gonna give you the lowest risk to reward. The 62 gonna give you the highest risk to reward. But that's the OTE entry. That's used to be my bread and butter before I learned all the other stuff. Because I learned the OTE from back in the day. Everybody, man, 2021, everybody wanted to trade OTE.
Well, it's been working for me. I love it. It's simple, it's easy, because I don't know all of ICT concepts, but I'm like the fibs along with the fair value gap, watching candlesticks. Like I can do that, and it's been profitable for me. So I just wanted to share in case somebody else want to start looking into that.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you.
All right, sir. Thank you again.
These one of the faithful ones. Now we know what FC stand for. It's Felicia, the real FC.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.
All right.
Get off my live. Hey, shout out my brother Joshua, the one I was just talking about, new member. I just see he signed up to be a member. Shout out my brother Joshua. I appreciate you. Now let's get into the teachable moment again. Like I was saying, love OTE. That used to be my bread and butter back in the day. Let's get into the teachable moment again. Like I was running my mouth, but I'm gonna get into the meat and potatoes, right? OTE, what was that, baby? OTE what? Wasn't still it? Yes, OTE, it don't stop. Don't none of these concepts that ICT teach stop. It don't stop. I moved away from the OTE because I found the other stuff like it spoke to me more, right? And y'all know we can't come to Trade and View without stopping by our friend house first. We got to stop and see our friend. For y'all who don't know our friend, her name is Spyleen. If you already know the song, sing it with me. And if you're one of the members, can you please drop a Spyleen emoji in the chat? Sing it with me, y'all. Spyleen, where you at, baby? Here I go. Hey, how you doing? Look what you done do. Look at Spyleen. Look what Spyleen did today, y'all. We went up, took out the buy-side liquidity, and then we reacted off of that order block that we talked about on the live on Sunday. Speaking of live Sunday, I still ain't got no word from the people. I posted the live wrong. I put it public, and it was non-members in there. I don't mind. And then I changed it, right? I changed it to members only, and I was trying to see, did it kick y'all out of the video? I know some people told me it was like the chat disappeared, but did it let you stay in the video? If you a non-member and you was on the chart prep Sunday, and did it let you stay through the whole video, or did it kick you out? Put a 1 in the chat if it let you stay through the whole. Man, I hate you. Let me talk about what I'm talking about. I'm sick of it. Hey, let's break down this teachable moment. I'm not gonna walk through the price section tonight. I jalapize for anybody who wanted to see me walk through the price section. We're gonna get into the teachable moment. Now, the first thing that I try to figure out when I'm trading, right, when I'm thinking about entering, if you haven't heard this before, this note taking time. You know what I'm saying? This run this back time, this note taking time. I'm doing it on the fly. Y'all got to bear with me. I don't have no notes to go through. I get distracted easy. So, baby, don't pop nobody comments up in the chat, especially Robinson, unless it's somebody that got like a serious question, right? The first thing you want to try to identify is the draw on liquidity, right? Draw on liquidity. Where is the market trying to get to, right? Where is the market trying to get to? What is the most highly probable place that the market is trying to go, right? Not where it's going in the next second. What's the destination? Right? What's the destination? Where is the market trying to get to? Right? So, like today, we closed right here at 40.37 even. Right? Let's take all this stuff off the chart. Boop. Take all the lipstick off the chart. So we closed today right here at daily box top. Nope. I don't want that high to say, I don't want that to say high. Right? We closed the day right here. Right. We closed right there. Excuse me. We closed at 40.37, right? So you see where we closed at. You say, okay, what did we do today? Right? Or if the day is too short for you, let's go back. This is what I do on Sundays. I go back and I look at the monthly candle and say, what have we done and where are we most likely trying to get? Right? So I look at the monthly to try to draw a conclusion, right? I say over last year, we fell a long ways, right? From peak to trough last year, right? We fell 27% from peak to trough last year, right? Then I'm like, okay, we fell that far, and how did we get there? And what did we do getting there, right? So I said we fell 27%. Then I look and I say, okay, we came down for like we dropped hard in January, and then we turned around. Like it was like a 50-50 thing. Like looking at this candle, like, okay, it's a red candle, but we kind of the bottom wick just as long as the top body, like, okay, and then we just slid to the right for a couple months. 1, 2, 3, right? We dropped hard in January, then we slid to the right. So we fell 14.5%, right? And then when we got to that 14.5%, we started to bounce in between, right? From peak to trough, a 500-point range, 530-point range, right? We just bounced and we came down, right? 14.5%, and then we bounced in between a 530-point range, right? Then you're like, man, the beginning of the year last year felt a whole lot scarier than that. It don't feel like we, you know what I'm saying, dropped and then just bounced in between the same range. Feel like we just fell forever, right? And then when we came into May, we dropped down a little more. And then from May up until now, right? With the exception of August and October, right? With the exception of August and October, right? We were in, give me a box. Give me a box. We were in, right? That range right there, except for August. August, we popped above it. October, we popped below it, right? October is when we made the new yearly low, because June is when we made the first low, and then we came back up in August, and everybody and their mama, including me, was like, okay, that might be the yearly low. And then in October, we made a new yearly low. But from June until now, yeah, except for August and in October, we've been in a roughly 570 point range. Let me put the snap on so I get the right numbers, because last time it was 530. 563 points. So in the first half of the year, right, up almost until June, we came down hard and then consolidated in a 530 point range. The second half of the year, we came down hard and then consolidated in a 560 point range. You know what I'm saying? History don't repeat itself, but it rhymes. You see what I'm saying? So the beginning of the year, we dropped hard, consolidated in a 500 point range. Second half of the year, we dropped hard and then consolidated in a 500 point range, give or take points, right? So that's what we did coming up until January. So we just been doing a lot of consolidate. We dropping and consolidating, right? So now looking at how we got there, right? What do we do? And this half of the year over here, when we slid to the right, right? Shout out all my people in the chat. We're making it learn. We're going to interact with it. What is this candle that I just extended out in time right there? What do you call that candle right there? That is an ICT what? Right? What is that right there? Michelle, Taco. What is that right there? That candle I just extended out right there. That is what? That is an ICT bearish what? Order block. Very good. Right? We got an ICT bearish order block on the monthly level. Right? What's the order block's job? And technically, the entire order block goes from wick to wick. Right? That's the entire order block right there. Right? That's the entire order block right there. Right? And inside that order block, right here, inside that order block right there, that right there is what? From this candle to that candle. That's an ICT what? Right? Very good, everybody. That was a bearish order block. Inside that candle right there, from this candle to the body of that candle right there. What is that right there? No, not a fair value gap, close, because they share price. The wicks overlap, so they share price. It's not a fair value gap. The wicks overlap, so they share price. But what is it? Right? I told y'all ICT been calling it this lately. Right? He been calling it this lately. Like he been killing me with this one right here. I'm like, why is he calling it? I told y'all it like I'm used to seeing it. I'm used to seeing it a different way, where it don't be like it'd be like a gap in between two candles. Exactly. Volume imbalance. He been calling them volume imbalances lately. When the like if it's not a fair value gap, but the wicks overlap, he been calling them volume imbalances, which been blowing my mind, right? Because I'm used to the volume imbalance being like a space in between the two candles, right? But that's he been calling them that. But let's keep that in mind. Now I ain't gonna focus on the volume imbalance because I ain't really back tested it like that right there. But when the candles, the wicks overlap, but the volume imbalances when it's a space, A plus, A money, right? So when we came down, right, we set an order block. What's the order block job? The order block's job is to block price, right? When we come back up to this order block, it's supposed to block price, right? So we consolidated, right? We set up order. We came down once we broke that low of that candle right there. Just peekaboo right there. Technically, that's an order block now, right? We came up into the wick of it here, sold off, consolidated. That's the first touch, and then we came back up into the wick of it again inside this area right here. That's a, you know what I'm saying, a semi. Y'all hold on. Y'all hold on for a second. Woo, the boy teaching now had come out a sweatshirt, right? Came back up in here to this quasi volume imbalance, and then we sold down, right? Sold down again, right? Set another bearish order block right there, right? We set another bearish order block right here when we broke the structure, right there. When we broke toward the at the bottom of that monthly, set another order block right there, right? So when we started coming back, right here, now we got this bearish order block that we set right here, right? Got the bearish order block there. And if you want to get super technical, about this order block right here, once we broke this low right here, we technically made that a breaker, right? And the reason why we technically made that a breaker is because this low on this monthly candle, when we started to go up, it broke that high right there. So we technically made that a breaker, right? So that's technically a breaker, right? Technically. So, but I'm just calling it an order block because we had a low that broke a high, right? You had a low that broke a high, and then we broke back lower, right? So technically that's a monthly breaker, right? So once we came down there, right, and when we got here in October, right, once we got to October, we made another order block. But this time, the order block is bullish. You see what I'm saying? We got a bullish order block now, right? When we come, it's technically not fully an order block yet because we haven't broke the high, but we're very close to making it that, right? We're very close to, so technically this is not an order block just yet because we haven't broken the high. But if you look what we did with this breaker, right, we have totally traded up past the mean threshold of this breaker, right? Let me get my arm snap on so that I can be on. So 4,950. Right? For anybody who don't know what mean threshold is, right? Mean threshold is 50% through any reference PD array, a breaker, an order block, a mitigation block, any reference P, not an imbalance. Imbalances are fair value gaps, liquidity voids, anything that's an imbalance in price. But a reference point is like the breaker. So any reference point, 50% of any reference point is the mean threshold, and 50% of any imbalance, like a wick, a fair value gap, a void, that's called consequent encroachment, right? So look at this, right? So look at this here. This candle right here that I said, it's not technically an order block yet because we haven't gone above the wick. But once we run up above the body like that, I start to watch it as an order block. But technically, we ain't break the wick yet, so it's not an order block just yet. But this right here technically is a breaker. And if you look at the mean threshold of that breaker, right, and look at the open of this order block, they pretty much the exact same spot. Algos don't do nothing for no reason, right? These are just little breadcrumbs that they be dropping, and this ain't nothing to act on right now because we're still in that spot on the monthly level, right? So this is looking at the monthly level, like the higher time frames of where is price trying to get to. We started all this to say, where is price trying to get to? What is the most obvious draw on liquidity, right? So looking at where we at right now, right? You have two draws on liquidity that you can say the market is trying to get, right? Can anybody say what they are right now? Can anybody point out what's like it's two very obvious and one not so obvious draw on liquidity, right? Can anybody drop it in the chat right now? Or you can click on the link and pull up and say, ooh, me, I know, right? It's two, right? From where price is right now, it just like should be sticking out in your head to say, okay, I see where liquidity lies, right? And if anybody don't know where liquidity lies, it can lie above a high, below a low, in a fair value gap, in a void, you know what I'm saying? Buy side liquidity, right there. Sell side and buy side. Y'all cheating. Sell side and buy side, that's true. But which sell side and which buy side, right? So the most obvious one, right? The most obvious one from where price is right now, this is price right here, right? The most obvious one from where price is right now, we have something called relative equal highs, right? We got relative monthly equal highs right here. And I'm going to make this a green little rectangle, right? I'll make this a green rectangle. We have relative equal highs. And for anybody who don't know what relative equal highs are, it's when you got highs that are close to each other, relative equal. You know what I'm saying? Relative equal highs, right? That's the first one. That's like super obvious. Why? Because price, that's the closest one that the price is to, right? The price is closest to that. You want to start out looking what's closest to price, right? What makes the most, what's the path of least resistance, right? So this is the closest one to price, right? Now, from where we are now, that's the closest one to price, right? If you would have come in here 2 days ago, right? This low right here would have been the closest one to price, but what would make this less attractive to me is that these are relative equal. You know what I'm saying? These are relative equal. So support and resistance traders are looking at this right here as it hit support twice and failed. You know what I'm saying? You see these equal bodies right here? You got the April low, the April close, the May close, the June open, the July close, the August open, the September wick, the December wick. Support and resistance traders like, man, that resistance is strong, right? So guess what's resting up here? A whole bunch of liquidity. It's a bunch of liquidity resting up here, and it's close to where price is right now. So that's the first most obvious place that I'm like, okay, I'm looking for the algo to go get that liquidity. I'm looking for them to go get that. That's the first idea in your head. This the most likely draw on liquidity, right? Tim Rogers like to know the other side of the story, right? So we got a monthly low here that we totally ignored, right? We totally ignored that monthly low right there, right? So I'm like, okay, the algo don't want that right now, right? So where's the next higher draw on liquidity at, right? I'm be looking at this low right here. I'm be looking at that low right there. And why am I looking at that low, right? That's a monthly low. Why am I looking at that low right there and not any other low, right? And put a monthly box bottom, right? Why am I looking at this low and not that low and not that low on the monthly level, right? The reason why I'm looking at that low right there is because this, remember I told you, this potential order block, once we traded up past that body there, right? Once we traded up past that body there, the next month we came down just past the mean threshold, right? We hit the mean threshold, had a reaction off of it, right? We came down to the mean threshold of this candle here. That's a potential order block. It's not official yet because we ain't break the high, but we hit the mean threshold, had a reaction off of it, right? And then when we opened up this month, we came back down to where the mean threshold again and consequent encroachment of this wick right here. So we came down to consequent encroachment on this wick, consequent encroachment on this wick, and then we went back up, right? So I'm like, all right, the algo don't want that low, it don't want that low, and it don't want the sell side up under this monthly candle right here, right? It don't want that. So now my attention is here on this buy side liquidity. That's on the monthly time frame. I'm thinking about that's the monthly draw on liquidity, right? So I'm watching that on the monthly time frame. Then remember, we have went through the mean threshold of this breaker. Once we get through the mean threshold of the breaker, right? In my mind, that breaker is used up, but I still keep it in the back of my mind until we get all the way past it. But once we go through the mean threshold, in my mind, okay, we done with that. We done with that breaker. It ain't active no more. Right now, it's either going to be support or resistance. Once we get above it, it's going to act as support. Once we get below it, it's going to act as resistance. It don't have to, but I expect it to because that's what PD arrays do. Once you use them, once you pass them, they either become support or resistance, right? So boom, let's go down to the weekly, right? We looking for the draws on liquidity, not draws, but the draws, right? So on the weekly, remember, right? This right here was the green line, was the mean threshold of that monthly order block, right? These weekly candles, right? So look at what we did. We came down below. This was the low in October, right? This up here, that's the high in August. And this right here is that September high with the relative equal high in December, right? That's the liquidity right there, right? So let's look at what we got going on the weekly. Looking at the weekly candles, right? Looking at the weekly candles, right? And this is by far the most important piece of the puzzle on any time frame. I was going to wait until I got to the lower time frames to say this, but on any time frame that you're watching, right? Right? Any time frame that you're watching, whenever you get like if you got like a price leg, right? If you got a price leg and you're going up or down, right? If you're going up or down, right? Whenever you, let's take a short term, for example, right? This is a short term move I'm trying to show you, right? You got this low right here from Monday to the week of the 13th of June, right? Right? This low here on this price leg came up, right? And it broke this high, right? It broke this high, right? It took out this buy side liquidity. Whenever you get a price leg that takes out buy side liquidity or sell side liquidity, when price comes back down and break that low right there, it's going to go down some more or go up some more. And how far down is it going to go? You have to look to the left for the draw on liquidity after it breaks that low. So we came up, we took out this buy side, right? These weekly candles. Then we came back down and we took out that sell side. And it don't even matter if you close below it or not. If you close below it, it just strengthens it. But we took out that sell side right here and we closed below it, right? And then look what we did. We went back up to a fair value gap and then sold down some more. You see what I'm saying? We came back up to a fair value gap and sold down some more, right? And then if you look over here to the left, where do we go? We went down here to this fair value gap right there, and then we pop back up, in the body right there was inside this order block right here, the entire order block. The body came back up and respected this entire order block. So there's your PD array to the left where it came to. And once you got that heavy reaction off this PD array, that's when you start looking for signs of a reversal. Whenever you hit a PD array and get that strong rejection, you start looking for signs of reversal. Not meaning it's going to happen, but you look for it because that's the algos giving you a clue. You know what I'm saying? It's giving you a clue, right? Now, boom. Now, this was a short-term one, right? So now we're coming back up, right? We're coming back up, and you coming up, right? We had a break in market structure to the upside. After we, you know what I'm saying, we came down, we got a rejection off of a PD array. We came up and we got a break in market structure to the upside, right? Once you run liquidity, right? When you run liquidity and you come back up and you start getting a break in market structure, you want to start looking for, you know, clues for how far is it going to go? How far is it going to take us? And you start looking at the PD arrays that you're coming up against, right? So when we came up here, right there, let's go in and see if it was already made before I say that. So we traded back down through in September, right? Okay, September, it was made. Now let's go back down to the weekly. That breaker was made in September, right? So we go back down to the weekly, right? And we're in October, right? When we traded through and broke this sell side, where do we come back up to? We came back up to that breaker and to a fair value gap. 2 PD arrays above price in the premium, right? 2. We got a weekly fair value gap and a monthly breaker after we just ran sell side liquidity, right? And closed below a price leg that took out buy side, right? We got a price leg right here. Come here, arrow. Give me an arrow. We got a price leg right here that took out buy side. Let me make this arrow fat so you can see it. Big fat arrow. Bring it to the front so it'll stay on top. Visual order. It's already to the front. So we got a big fat arrow that took out. Where's my line? Oh, right there. Sorry, y'all. I told y'all I'm doing this on the fly. Right? We got an arrow. Right? We got an arrow that took out buy side liquidity, right? We got a price leg that took out buy side liquidity, right? And then we came down. And then broke that low. I'm reinforcing this because this is important when you read and price, right? We came down and took out the sell side. That price leg is the one that took out the buy side, right? That is crucial. That is crucial. Right? That's a crucial point. Why is that crucial? Because that's the algos tipping their hand that, yes, I really do want to go down. Now, mind you, there was other opportunities in here to get short, right? But I'm just giving you the big in your face clues. If you're patient, you know what I'm saying, you can get setups that's almost guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed, but if you're patient, you can get setups that's almost guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? So we this low came up and took out this high, took the buy side. We came back down and then we took out the sell side and closed below it. So that's telling you I want to go that way now. What do you look for? The clues of where to make your entry now. So if you want to sell, right? If you want to sell, you want to look above price. Let's get the Pim Dash chart. Let's get the Pim Dash chart. We go, and I'm gonna stop on the weekly. I ain't gonna go down to the daily because I've been on here for 45 minutes and I don't want to keep everybody all night. But let's go to the Pim Dash chart. Let's go to the Pim Dash chart. Pim Dash. Hold up. Where my Pim Dash chart at? Right there. ICT top down. Okay. So this gray line in the middle, for anybody who don't know how to use the Pim Dash chart, it's actually called ICT top-down analysis matrix. That Little Caesar coming back with a vengeance. I jalapies. Now, this is equilibrium, right? You look above price for a PD array that you trade to sell off of. You look below price for a PD array that you trade to buy off of, right? So when the market gives you a clue by taking out a low or a high, just reverse it on a price leg that took buy side or sell side, look above price for a PD array that you want to sell off of. You always want to sell off of a PD array above price, right? You sell off of a PD array above price. And the reason why I call this the Pim Dash chart is because this is the order of operations that the algo seeks out PD arrays, right? If anybody who don't know what PD arrays are, I call them premium discount price arrays, like arrays. Premium discount. Some people call them price delivery arrays. I call them premium and discount arrays. It makes sense in my mind. Call them what you want. That's what I call them. But it looks for a mitigation block first. There's no mitigation block. It looks for a breaker. There's no breaker. It looks for liquidity voids. Now, mind you, in ICT content, what he identified as a liquidity void, I call it a sell side imbalance and a buy side imbalance. He called it a liquidity void. If you listen to him talking live, he says that that's not a true liquidity void, but that's just what he stuck with because the people on Baby Pips kept wanting that to be a liquidity void. So instead of trying to make them learn something else, he just coined it liquidity void. But a liquidity void is an actual gap in price, right? It's an actual gap in price. But it looks for liquidity voids, fair value gaps, bearish order blocks, rejection blocks, old highs. And the reverse is the same, right? So back to what we were saying. This price leg took out buy side. Now you're looking to see what does the algo want to do now that we've taken this liquidity, right? Now that we've taken this liquidity, right? Price is coming back down. We got a fair value gap here. We coming down. You could have said, oh, this is a spot to go long. Go long. You would have got your head bust in. But that's why we got risk management, right? You would have got your head bust in. I ain't going to hold you. It doesn't always work. You would have got your head bust in. But that's when you got to understand the narrative and all that. Is this really going to hold up, right? We have gone this far. We've gone this far for this long. Is this really going to hold up? Understand the narrative, understand all that right there, right? If you'd have took the long, hey, you got your head bust in. But guess what? You shouldn't be taking a long way up here in this price leg because unless you got a lot of money, Because now the first place your stop will be is all the way down here up under this order block right here, under this swing low. That's a huge stop loss. If you got that much money, hey, do you. You know what I'm saying? The second place it would be below this low. Hey, do you. Because guess what? If you know what I'm saying, you took it here and your stop was down here, the market gave you an opportunity to get back out before coming down to get you. It gave you an opportunity to be like, oh, I'm wrong. It gave you a chance to get back out, but you need a lot of money for that. But anyway, I got sidetracked. Came down, we took out the sell side. Now that we've taken out the sell side, what do we want to do? We want to look above price in the premium, right? Above price, and start looking for what? Mitigation blocks, breakers, liquidity voids, gaps, order blocks, in this order, as Mama D say, in that order, right? So when we get here, start going back up above price. What do we have? Right? We got a breaker right there on the weekly. We got a weekly breaker right here. Right? We got a weekly breaker right there. Those are my breakers. Right here. A weekly bearish breaker right there. Right? We got a weekly breaker here. Remember our monthly breaker. This was our monthly breaker up here. Remember we had that monthly bearish breaker. Right? We had that monthly bearish breaker. We had that weekly bearish breaker. And look at this weekly candle. What do? We come back up right there. What did I say the middle of the breaker was? Mean threshold. Where's the mean threshold of this weekly breaker? Right at the close of this monthly breaker. Right? Algos don't do stuff for no reason. Right? They don't do stuff for no reason. So they call this confluence in price, right? You got a weekly breaker sitting with the mean threshold right at the open of a monthly breaker, right? And you got a weekly fair value gap right here. And then consequent encroachment of this weekly fair value gap is at 38, 34, 25. Right? So we come up to 38.52, close enough for government work, 20 points above consequent encroachment, get into the monthly breaker, mean threshold of the weekly breaker, consequent encroachment of the fair value gap, and we dropped it like it's hot. See what I'm saying? Right there. The algo showed you here after this price leg took out buy side. Then we came down and we took out the sell side on this price leg. It showed you right there, I want to keep going down. Right? That was your entry to keep going down based off of what price did here. Right? There you go right there. That was your entry right there. Right? You could have took it at the open of the fair value gap, mean threshold of the breaker. If you would have went any higher than that, the touch of the monthly breaker, any higher than that, you wouldn't have got picked up. Right? So that's the most important thing to remember about when you're looking at the price. Now, let's keep moving forward to look at what a going zone right now. Right? What a going zone right now. Because we said right now, the most likely, looking at it, the most likely draw is these relative equal highs up here. Right? At the top of this monthly breaker. Right? And looking at the weekly, what have we done in this area? Right? What have we done? After we came back up, we sold off of that, right? We got a break in market structure to the upside after selling off, after running that sell side liquidity, right? Got a break in market structure to the upside. We traded back into this, this not even a fair value gap there, but we traded into the wick of this order block right there, right? We traded into the wick of this order block right there, right? At the bottom of this weekly breaker, right? At the bottom of this weekly breaker, remember what I said, once we once we finish with it, once we finish with the breaker, or once we finish with the PD array, they either become support or resistance, right? They become support or resistance. So we went up, got the breaking market structure, came back down into the wick of this order block right here, came back down to the bottom of this bearish breaker, right? That we touched the bearish breaker there and sold off. Remember over here when we touched the mean threshold and touched that monthly breaker, then we came down, we went back up, we touched that weekly breaker again, came back down, and now we've came up and got a breaking market structure and closed above the top of this bearish breaker. Right now, we expect this bearish breaker to act as support. We come down to the bottom of this bearish breaker, strong reaction off of it, right? Strong reaction off of it. Don't leave no kind of imbalance down here on the weekly. The next week, pow, get all the way up to what? The mean threshold of the monthly breaker, right? Now that we've closed above this weekly breaker, we're expecting this weekly breaker to do what? Act as support, right? So we come up, right, and make this relative equal high. We hit what? A rejection block up here, right? We hit a rejection block up here, and the rejection block takes us back down to where? The mean threshold of the support, right? It brought us down to the mean threshold of the support. Rejected off the mean threshold 1, 2, 3 times. Rejected off of it 3 times, right? And then on the way down, see what we made right here? We made a fair value gap right there, right? Now, this fair value gap right here for me, right, was not a selling opportunity to me. Why? This plays into the narrative of understanding when your setup is likely to fail, right? And looking at what we did, right? When is your setup likely to fail? This low right here, we came up and we stopped there, right? We stopped there. We didn't take out this buy side, right? We came back down, right, into this order block, into this support, right? We got an order block, we got support, right? And then we started to move back up. We created a fair value gap right there at all of this support, right? So now this fair value gap right there is not looking like I want to sell this, because when we took off up here, again, we still could not get above this high right here. All we did was set a relative equal high at the top of this breaker, right? So this fair value gap right here is not appetizing to sell off of, because we've rejected 1, 2, and we're coming back up now. This is the 3rd time it's hitting it, right? But we still have not got up there to that buy side liquidity, right? If we had taken that buy side liquidity already and started coming back down and started breaking down, then you could look forward to, okay, this is going to hold up. Now, you could have taken it and you would have got your head bust in, but that's a part of trading, right? Now, where we at now? We're coming up here. Now we're consolidating right here. For the last couple of weeks, we've been consolidating right there at the mean threshold of this breaker, right? We've been consolidating at the mean threshold of this breaker, and we've been respecting the breaker below us on the weekly as support, right? We've been respecting it as support, right? And so now, only thing we got to do now is figure out, this is the most likely draw. What stands in our way, right? What's standing in our way to get to this? you want to look to see what's above price, what's below price, right? We got an order block above price, right? A weekly order block above price that we just touched today, right? Weekly bearish order block right there, right? That's the order. Man, we was talking about that order block. That's the order block that we was talking about when we were like way down here somewhere on Sunday when we was talking about, hey, you know what I'm saying? I want to see us come up to this order block, right? Get to that order block, come back down to a daily fair value gap or something. I was saying I want to see us come down to, it was a daily fair value gap, a daily order block. I wanted to see us get back down to it so we can push back up to get these, get this buy side liquidity up here. That's what we was talking about on the live, right? So above price, that's standing in our way, right? What do we got below price that's supporting us, right? Below price, what's supporting us now? We still got the support there. We got consequent encroachment of this weekly wick that we can possibly come back down to at 39.45, right? We'll go ahead and mark that out. 39.45, consequent encroachment of this weekly wick, right? 39.45 of that weekly wick, right? So boom. Then now we drop down to the daily. I said I wasn't gonna go to the daily, but I'm gonna go there anyway, right? So looking at on the daily, right? We say the most likely draw was up here because we consolidating. We don't have any imbalances on the weekly or the daily to come back to, right? After we've broken market structure. We've been in a buy program since October, right? And what's a buy program? The buy program is when we're continuously taking out buy side liquidity, and then the PD arrays below price are supporting price, right? We're taking out, we came up, right? We took out buy side right here, the order block supported price. We took out buy side right here, came back down, the order block supported price. We took out buy side here, came back down, the order block supported price. These just on the daily level, but of course we know we had some breakers on the weekly that was helping support price. You know what I'm saying? So we're still in the buy program, right? We're still in the buy program. Okay, so now we've this is the consequent encroachment on that weekly wick, right? So consequent encroachment on that weekly wick. So above price, we got a weekly order block that's standing in our way to get to the buy side liquidity, right? So we got a weekly order block above price. Below price on the weekly, the only thing we got is the weekly breaker and the that has been supporting price already, right? And this consequent encroachment on this wick. On the daily level, right? Below price, we just made a daily fair value gap. We just made that today, right? A daily fair value gap after we took out the buy side. We took out the buy side liquidity here, and then we made a daily fair value gap there, right? Made a daily fair value gap there, daily. I know I'm putting a whole lot of stuff on the chart, and I know I'm like just skeeting like a water hose, like a fire hose right now. Fair value gap. Where's my okay, right? So below price, we got a bullish fair value gap on the daily, and that bullish fair value gap sitting right on top of consequent encroachment of that wick, right? Which is that bullish fair value gap is also sitting right on top of a bullish daily order block, right? We got a bullish daily order block that's sitting on top of the weekly breaker that's been acting as support. That's with a bullish fair value gap sitting on top of that, right? Above price, we got a weekly order block above that. So we got two daily PD arrays, a weekly consequent encroachment, and a weekly breaker that's acting as support. Now, This is gem number 2 from the night after me running in my mouth all this time. Whenever you react off of a PD array in the premium or the discount, whatever time frame that PD array is on, right, this order block, if this weekly order block does its job and blocks price from going higher, right, this is a clue that it may do its job. Whenever price gets there and have a reaction like this, that how it wick down off of it, the next candle, you want to see it move to some type of premium. It ain't got to go way back up here. Move to some type of premium, and you can use that to go short or long, right? Now, when it reacts off of there, if it does its job, here's the gem. Whatever time frame that PD array is on, right, you want to see it come to a discount PD array below price, one level down. That's what you can shoot for as your target, right? So if you hit this weekly order block and get a reaction in it, and it gives you a sell signal to go short off of this weekly order block, you can look below price at this daily fair value gap, this daily order block. You can look there for your destination, right? So if you react off this weekly order block, you can expect price to come down to this daily fair value gap, maybe even this daily daily order block. And if this daily order block sitting at this weekly consequent encroachment on that wick and this daily fair value gap, that's a lot for price to get through, especially when we're in a buy program, right? Now, mind you, we have a fair value gap right here that we didn't fill in, but usually when price leaves a consolidation area like this right here and creates a fair value gap right there, and then turn around and creates another fair value gap right behind it, this first fair value gap will tend to act as a breakaway gap, and the algo won't come to fill that until it goes and handle whatever business it wanted to handle once it broke away from that consolidation, either up or down. So you can if you was going short off this weekly order block right here, this daily fair value gap and this daily order block should be your trimming. This should be your shaving target right here, either shaving or closing your position. Shave, leave a runner to see if we take out this low right here. Right now, remember what I said. This low has taken out this high. If we come back down and take out this low, right, that's important because this low took buy side. If we come back down and take out that low, that's a sign to say start looking for a short, not just simply jump in, start looking for a short. So if you're coming down, right, if we come up here and this order block does its job, right, there's a reaction. I like to see this. I like to see the reaction. So now tomorrow I'm going to be looking for, if we get a turnaround Tuesday, I'm going to be looking for like a reason to short, just based on what the market showed me overnight, right? Tomorrow we got news, so don't trade in front of news. News trumps charts. The news can come out beautiful and blast us off. The news can come out horrible and tank us down to this right here. And then now, for me, all bets are off because I are off until I see how it reacts to these PD arrays, because that's a destination for me, right? So let's say we got the news is okay. We don't blast no way, but it just trade normal, right? Come off this order block, right? Come down here. If we bounce there, right? If we bounce there, that's why I say shave your shorts right there. But if we take out this low, take out that sell side liquidity right there, that's important. That's a shorting opportunity because this low is the price leg that took out this buy side. We took out this buy side today, right? So this low took out this buy side. So if price comes back and takes out this low right here, I'm looking down here, right? I ain't looking up here no more. Right now, the draw is up here because we're in a buy model, and I done broke it all the way down to the daily to show you how I came to the conclusion of this is the likely draw on liquidity because we're in a buy model. Hopefully you got that from that, like me going through all of that right there. But if we come off of this order block, disrespect this fair value gap right here, push through this order block right here and take out this sell side, can anybody tell me what this order block right here would be if we take out that sell side right there? I'll wait while I sip some water. This daily order block right here, what would that be if we take out that sell side? Breaker. Very good. Lil Hawk. Very good. Here to learn and share. Lil Hawk was first, baby. It'll be a breaker, right? That's important. And the reason why is, yes, it should act as resistance, right? Because it's a breaker now, right? So it's a bearish breaker, right? If we take out this low, it's a bearish breaker now. And that's important. Remember what I said, no matter what time frame you're on, when the price leg that takes out the liquidity, when we trade through the opposite end, that's important because now you're looking at a breaker. You're trying to come back through a breaker. So now price is saying, I want to go down, right? It could very well just come down here and fill in this fair value gap, hit this order block, and keep going. That's a part of trading. But if the price comes down here like this, now this is a breaker. So your mind should go to coming back to this breaker, boop, and then attacking this sell side down here, right there. Your mind should go there because the algo said, you know what? I don't want to go up no more. I want to go down. Gives you a break in market structure. I need to go somewhere to look for some liquidity. You know what I'm saying? Now, will this breaker hold up? Ain't no guarantee it'll hold up, but that's how you can start to determine what's the draw on liquidity, right? What's the draw on liquidity? What's standing in my way? What's above price? What's below price? Use the Pim Dash chart to plan out your entries. And when you use the Pim Dash chart to plan out your entries, that's when you start looking for your trade model, your entry setup. That's when you start looking for, you don't just jump on your entry setup anytime you see it. Remember, time and price. The most important part of algorithmic trading is time. If you trade the London session, you want to be looking for reasons to buy or sell between 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning up until 5 o'clock in the morning, right? If you're trading the New York session, you want to be looking for reasons to sell from like 8:30 in the morning up until 11:30 in the morning. If you risky enough to play the New York PM session, you want to be looking for reasons to sell between 1:30, 2 o'clock up until 3:30. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no risk appetite for the New York PM section, right? But anyway, man, that's all I got. I've been on here for 1 hour and 15 minutes. I ain't chopping down no gems from the live in this right here. Again, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. If anybody want to pull up and ask anything, is there anything in the chat that I need to address, baby? Besides Robinson, appreciate that, Andre. But this is so good. Appreciate that. Thank you. Or is it just clicking for me today? It might just be clicking for you today. The door. Oh, Lex up in here. What's up, Lex? Lex, you still in here? Lex, if you still in here, when are you gonna take Saint to get his neck cracked? look at little Hawk. Hey man, I ain't fooling with y'all tonight, man. I'm gonna say it for the people in the back, late arrivals. This channel has elevated my trade and discipline. Join the channel. It's invaluable with tons of content. Appreciate that, man. I appreciate that, Stack. Shout out to homie Stacks, man. Tim on fire this evening. Great info. I'm sweating too. I got to go take a shower. I'm sweating too. Appreciate it. He's in his bag tonight. What's up, Tucker? What's up? So, more fast out look for a short the bar. Hey, you look for what you want to look for. You feel me? Chief, what's up, Chief? What's going on, my guy? I see Chief pop up. Chief is over. I appreciate that hit. Hey, I see Charmaine O'Reilly. I've never seen her name before. Appreciate you tapping in, Sean. Hey, Tranisha. Now I know you was on the live Sunday. Tranisha, did it kick you out the live when I switched the settings, or did it just cut the chat off? If it kicked you out the live, put a 1 in the chat. If it just cut the chat off, put a 2 in the chat. I'm trying to find out. Well, tonight's live. Oh, that's my baby. Thank you, baby. We'll definitely rewatch this one. Appreciate you, Rhonda. Shout out Rhonda Green, man. Rhonda Green be pulling up with some good info, man. Rhonda Green be trying to, you know what I'm saying? Not let people know that she a super genius. I'll be disappointed if I didn't. Shout out Robinson, man. I ain't even going Robinson. That's my dude, man. Hey, Robinson is the me. Yes, you kicked me out. I was a lost child. My bad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to kick you out. I just, when I posted it, I was like, oh man, I posted this public. It's not supposed to be public. And because I saw names popping in, I saw a name that I had never seen before. And I'm like, whoa, who is that? And so I was like, man, I posted this public. And so I went in and changed it. And when I went in and changed, I was like, I don't know if they still in here. If they still in here, I don't care. But I just, you know what I'm saying? I posted it public. And I wasn't supposed to. Just trying to be a man of my word. I said one of the perks on the membership was the Sunday, because I was gonna stop doing the Sunday lives. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna stop doing the chart prep. And I was like, because I was, trying to get back to being more deliberate about my family time. And I was just like, one of the perks of the memberships for a goal or higher was that I still do the Sunday chart prep, because a lot of people were saying that the Sunday chart prep was helping them. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, I can, as a perk of wanting to support the channel financially, I can do that. Like, I feel like we've been doing this long enough where, you know what I'm saying, if you are OG Spider Gang member, you know what I'm saying, I appreciate you for supporting financially, but it's like, I feel like we were to the point where, okay, I can stop doing these Sunday lives where people got a good handle on, you know what I'm saying, how I do my charting, and that can lend to how they want to do their charting or give them an idea or something like that. But, welcome new member. Yeah, Joshua Israel. That's my boy. That's my boy I was talking about. That's the one I was talking to earlier. That's the reason why I went into doing a whole teachable moment tonight. Because I was trying to talk to him on the phone, and when you're not sitting in front of a chart, it's hard to grasp what somebody talk about. Stack's working and tapping in. Man, Stack, that's what I'm talking about, man. Huh?
It's SJ2.
SJ2. Oh, SJ tap. Oh, SJ pulled up tonight.
New members. That's what I put up there. You didn't read all of it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, then. Welcome, SJ. I'm sorry, SJ. Welcome, SJ, to the gang. I appreciate SJ, a normal name I be seeing all the time, so that's probably why I didn't even recognize. But I appreciate that, SJ. New gang. Let me see. Let me see who else in there, just in case I don't want to miss nobody. I want to thank the people. I want to thank the people for supporting. See all members. See everybody that tapped in today. Let me see all members. All right, these the folk that tapped in today. Let me put it back on the screen. Everybody that tapped in today. We got Sonya was yesterday. Sonya was yesterday? I thought Sonya was today. Anyway, Sonya. I thought Sonya was today. We got Valdez tapped in today. We got this is the name that I couldn't pronounce. I remember saying that earlier today. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name. It's Srinath. Last name Srinivas. SJ tapped in today. Stacks tapped in today. Joshua Israel tapped in today. Playboy Trey tapped in today. Wait a minute, I thought I saw Playboy Trey before. I guess not. Playboy Trey tapped in today. Them all the people that tapped in today. And then, appreciate all the gang that tapped in already. The very first person to tap in was Angela. Angela was the very first person. She beat out Here to Learn and Share. The very first person was Angela, then Lil Hawk, then Here to Learn and Share, then Rhonda Green, then Margot, then Cool It. So Angela, Lil Hawk, Here to Learn and Share, Rhonda Green, and Margot. That's the top 5 of the ETF. Cool It didn't make it in the top 5 of the ETF because he was out there frolicking with Robinson. Where Robinson? Late comer, way back there. 5 days later. Robinson tapped in 5 days later. Hey man, I appreciate y'all. Remember, we got a lot of news coming up this week. We're gonna look at the news and then we're gonna take off. We're gonna call it because I've been on here a very long time. Forex Factory. Remember, we got PMI in the morning at 9:45. We got another Richmond Manufacturing Index. That's another kind of like PMI type thing, if I ain't mistaken. That's at 10 o'clock. So we got some important news. 9:45, 10 o'clock. Excuse me. Thursday. This is a big dog. We got GDP Thursday, 8:30 in the morning. Then Friday, core PCE. That's another big dog. Friday morning, 8:30 in the morning. So GDP and PCE coming out before the market open. And then tomorrow, the PMI coming out after the market open. So govern yourself accordingly. Govern yourself accordingly. Ushers, Cool It, Robinson, please take up the offering. Hey, man, that's it. We're going to call it. What Robinson said. Y'all know Tim is my dude. Great. Shine. That's what I was saying. Robinson is the me of the Spider game. You can ask anybody. When I be in people chats, I be trolling. I be trolling. Robinson is the me of the Spider game. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all in the morning for the overnight price. Action. Enjoy the rest of your night. Sorry for keeping y'all so long, man. Y'all know what I like to say. I'm going to end it like I always end it. I was about to end it without ending it like this right here. Don't put off till tomorrow what you can say today. Let your loved ones know that you love them today. Ain't nobody promised tomorrow. If you're a praying person, if you're of the Christian walk, you know what I'm saying? I solicit your prayers for my older brother. His name Anthony Brown. Call him by name. He's been in and out the ER, over the last few weeks. He's still in there. When he went back again the other day, so he's still in there. But y'all just pray for him. He dealing with some health issues. But ain't nobody promised tomorrow, man. Ain't nobody promised tomorrow. Sit around here and fret for my older brother because he keep going to the ER, and then I can go out there tomorrow and get hit by a semi. As this lady I used to work with named Ann. She was an older woman, Every time I can walk out here and get hit by a semi. I'm like, Miss Ann, why you always got to get hit by a semi? But I can walk out here tomorrow, get hit by a semi. Ain't nobody promised tomorrow, right? Let your loved ones know that you love them today. And when you speak to them, speak in their love language. Don't just say it. Don't just show it. Say it, show it, and confirm it. Y'all already know little Timmy Rogers thought he was doing the best job in the world with his boys. And then my boys feel like they got to get out of my house at 18. I ain't never said that, but that's what I was giving off. My intentions was not their perception. It's not about what you intend. It's the way it's perceived. So speak in their love language so they can receive what you're trying to give. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all. If I made you money, put one in the chat. Them jokes, man. Hey, thanks, Tim. Pressure fan. See you in the morning. Yeah, I see y'all in the morning, man. See y'all for the overnight price. Action. Gone, man.